Okay, get the laser spell with poison and orbit, but don't put it on yourself. Instead, summon books that all do the laser ring, and then need to summon as many snakes as possible, but they suck if you don't use mouse tracking mod. Oh, and since they stay out, do lots of hits, you have to use wand 777. Alright, look, once you find Arcane Surge, you can use it to auto-cast black holes with no cooldown, but you gotta make it as big as possible with spell radius. Alright, pause. Let me start you from the top. Welcome to Magicraft, the wand crafting roguelike where you play as an MMO-loving nerd, isekai'd into a world of demons. You need to use your giga brain skills to defeat the ancient gods' forces. Thank you, Magicraft, for sponsoring this deep dive video. The game is out now in 1.0. The link to the Steam store page is in the description. You can get a juicy 20% off launch discount until November 16th, so act fast if you want to get in on that. But while you're here, I made this video to show you why I'm actually excited for this release. So first off, yes, this is a top-down roguelike shooter, but that doesn't really scratch the surface of how the game is truly played. We have the bullet hell enemies, we have the weapons, but the most important gameplay is crafting a wand that outputs some of the craziest spell combinations that you can dream of, and that puts this into sort of a busted build maker category. You see, every run starts off as you're just the normal kid with essentially a pea shooter. Right now, I have a single poison snake that I can shoot out. Oh yeah, there are some skins in the game that are from game collaborations. I'll show you more about those later in the video. So anyway, it's a regular snake bullet that happens to have poison enchanted, but then I got a wand with built-in orbit mods. So let's go ahead and move the snake over to that. Pretty cool so far. I can add in more duration, maybe some rapid fire to get the snakes to come out faster. Okay, now I'll double them. Oh wait, enchanting coin actually fires out my money, and then based on a relic I have, whenever I pick up my money, I heal. Never mind, we'll just full swerve into that. Basically, the game's all about combining together relics, weapons, the spells, and modifiers that enhance that spells in order to become the God Mage. If you do well enough to win, then you will have beaten the tutorial, and then the game really starts to ramp up. As you can see, with all the crazy enemies I have to fight, we can't just have a basic wand, so we need something a little bit more exotic. So let's see how we even go about doing that. There aren't many roguelikes nowadays that let you engineer your own build. We're trying to make an interaction between individual spells and the modifiers that would make sense for those. You'll come across both during a run, usually as a reward for clearing a room or purchasable from a shop. Any spell you pick up can be swapped in and out of the wand, even if you're in combat. The game always lets you move around open spells and kind of like experiment on the fly. And this is important because you're constantly finding new stuff and always chasing after that synergy to maximize your damage. Okay, let's use the starting spell for example. This is Magic Bullet, fires out a single bubble, it pops on the first enemy it hits. It goes about this far. Those are all issues that we can solve. For example, I can get spell penetration so it pierces. I can get speed so it can actually go farther. See the difference between I'm able to hit the monster from here, but if I take the accelerator off, I'm no longer in range to hit it. I can even add something like rebound so it bounces off of walls. That way when I pierce through the first monster, it'll actually ricochet, possibly hitting another one. But that actually hasn't done anything for my damage. So I'm gonna grab a new wand. This one has simultaneous cast 5, and then it automatically has target lock. So now I can actually fire like double bullets at the same time. Multi-shot will increase that number to 4 bullets. So now we've essentially quadrupled our damage. I can get precise shot to bring down the spread. This also gives it critical hit rate. And then Core of Thunder gives it a chance to explode when they actually land. And this is just like absolute baseline generic levels of damage up. I didn't do anything special here. So we'll pick up a new wand, a new spell, reduce the cost, remove the reduced transparency I had earlier based on some of my other broken wands, link it to Thunderstorm so that whenever it passes into a monster, it'll actually cast Thunderstorm on top of it. That absolutely kills my mana, so I'm gonna get mana regen and maximum mana. And that's still only like 100 something DPS. That's baseline for what I'm talking about, what you can do in here. And no, not everything is just a machine gun like that. You could be a summoner with an army of tentacles. You could jet around the arena as a lightning bolt, or you could simply explode. For some of you, this is the true gameplay of Magicraft beyond all the monsters I was fighting earlier. And this doesn't even touch upon the relics that you'll be finding to supplement the character. You'll even start to spend your max HP to get the really good legendary relics and epic spells that show up on rare occasions. The gameplay itself, of course, has to be fun too. Crafting a good character only works when the game itself gives you an opportunity to use it. In Magicraft, the monsters and the room design is pretty important. In the opening stage, you get the most basic of mushrooms and spiders, and you fight those while learning the game and then practicing your spell combinations. In the next biome, monsters ramp up with rotating lasers that require some fancy footwork to avoid. There might be monsters that go through walls, such as ghosts, and you might want a wand that maybe pierces through walls. Even this single night monster can be pretty tough because it kind of rushes you down while also trying to spin the wind on top of you. After getting through that, the next map is even more wilder. The walls become screen warps and the truly disgusting monsters start to show up. You're basically fighting against the ancient god's minions, so it's only natural that the monsters become more and more nightmarish. In fact, as you go up in difficulty, yes, you guessed right, the beginning was merely the tutorial. All the monsters in the game get even more horrifying. It is a roguelite after all, so you'll be progressing upward through the game throughout your time playing it. This includes not only increasing the difficulty, but unlocking new spells such as Core of Flame and Boomerang Blade, and then new modifiers such as Spell Echo and Dazzling Fireworks. There are even new characters you can unlock as well. Well, technically they're costumes for the main character, but each one comes with its own gameplay style, and they even added some guest characters from other games. Reaper, for example, is from Backpack Battles, and she comes with a unique relic that boosts all your poison spells. Then, of course, we have roguelike unlocks for the character that make your runs even stronger. There's things like additional wand slots, inventory level up, HP boost, coin yield, etc., etc. You'll even find options on increasing your reforge capability or adding new rooms to the actual biomes themselves. With all this together, Magicraft has almost 7,000 positive reviews as of the time I'm making this video. According to the Steam store page, there are up to 5 stages across multiple difficulties, 100 total spells with 100 total wands. I've probably seen maybe 30% of the possible combinations I can make, so I can tell you, after spamming runs of this game, there's a lot more that I need to find and unlock. I didn't even turn down spell transparency until much later in the game when I started to really break the game open. And at that point, I had covered my entire screen with tentacles that I spawned, and I had to turn it down so I could see what I'm doing. Although I have more to do, I have been working on my wish list of what I'd like to see for Magicraft post 1.0. They already did the first thing that I wanted, which was a godlike or easy mode of the game. Basically, the game gives you a starting wand for free, and then you can kind of work your way through the game with that big starting wand. It also kind of helps to show you how you can make a strong wand based on what the game offered you. Another thing I'd love to see, and I don't know if this is feasible, but I'm a sucker for tons of bosses in the game. Any game that has many bosses that are all randomized is very cool to me, so I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. And then finally, and this one would come as a surprise, I actually have a couple of melee spells with fake melee. Basically, it emulates a sword slash or something like that, and I would love to see more melee-based spells. Even some of the characters I've seen in the trailers have melee skills that are active buttons, and I wonder if they could add more active skills to the game too. Either way, I'm having a blast with the game. Once again, I want to remind you that the link to the store page is in the description of the video. They have a 20% off launch discount until November 16th, so get in on that while you can. If you do pick up the game, let me know in the comments what your favorite spell combination is, and I'll hopefully get some that I can share with you as well. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.